Solo quiero comentar que en vez de sentir miedo, sintamos más confianza. Dios nos cuida.
What I remember as a kid being in El Salvador was the opportunity to attend to one of the burial of one of these priests that were killed, which was Father Rutilio Grande. Speaking to the community where he was buried, because he was buried in a church where he was a pastor, they said that wasn't new to them because they were killing the catechists. The armed force were killing the catechists just because they were preaching the gospel. And by preaching the gospel meant that they were opening the people's eyes, the ears, because they were making them socially responsible. I remember in the same year, we started in my high school outreach for people from the outside of the city, because I live in the capital city. And one of the things that we wanted to look for help was to find a inspiration. And the director of my high school said, you know, the better thing to do is to have a meeting with Monsignor Romero. So he scheduled a meeting with him. The first thing that I remember is his figure. When he comes, he was a short man, not that tall, but his presence filled the whole room. And what I mean is, you actually can feel something in that man. At that time, he hadn't said any words. He hasn't said anything to us, but I was able to perceive something in that man. He said, you know, that working for the poor, working to help the poor was the spirit of the gospel. And that was our inspiration to begin a outreach ministry for thing that we have every Holy Week. That was to go and help one town, very poor town in the middle of nowhere in El Salvador. At the end of the project, when we finished it, we also wanted to talk to him about our experience. He didn't say that much, but everything that he said, it was like, I really felt that he was calling me personally to continue working anywhere where I find myself in. One thing that he really impacted me was that he always smiled. I knew that he was suffering because of the situation with the priest, the killing of the priest, the killing of the catechist. It was a governmental persecution of the church, but he always smiled, confident that God will prevail. And even though he knew that probably choosing the least of the least of the people, the poor of the poorest, will make him probably not very popular. He knew he needed to do that. He knew that going toward that road probably will end with his life. But he knew he had to do it. I think we were blessed to have a person like Monsignor Romero in El Salvador. He has been very much criticized because of his position. But from my point of view, as he always said, he was the voice of the voiceless. Through his message, he condemned right and left. Unfortunately, everything that has to be with a prophetic voice can be misunderstood. And I think he was misunderstood as being part of the left. I have read his documents and his homilies. The only thing that I can see is that he was close to the gospel. He was defending his flock. He was speaking for those who did not have a way to communicate. He was defending the life of the little ones. It really had impacted my life because in our community, because you have to learn English in order to succeed in this country. Many of our brothers, Hispanics brothers and sisters, are discriminated because they are not able to speak English, and they are taken advantage of. And we who have been more fortunate, we have become their voice. We have to become their hand that raised them up in this land that is not forgiving to immigrants. It's the land of the immigrant, but it's not forgiving to immigrants. It was in one of his last homily that he said that his end was near. But if he was killed, he knew that he will live in the hearts of the Salvadorians. And I think through the years, that has become true. He died, he was killed, he was martyred, but in the heart of all the Salvadorians and of many people in the world, he's still alive. His message is still alive.